Ship's log, stardate 61251.3. We've been in Andromeda now for 6 weeks, and besides a few skirmishes with wandering Archein battle scouts, we've avoided a lot of attention. Now that we've lost our cloak, however, we can't guarantee that luck will stay. We've also had to dump several antimatter pods that almost ruptured during the last attack. Sensors have picked up a planet nearby that looks to be an abandoned antimatter refinery. Somehow it feels too convenient.
Nevin, this is the last straw.
So it was the last time. What's happened now?
I go down to the armory to do my regular checks on the firing chambers and the warheads, and I see Talora poking her pointy ears about, looking through our database.
Mr. Rowe, if I have to put up with the obstructive behavior of your second officer anymore...
Coming from the same woman that wouldn't let her own mother look at the cloaking device. The same one that could be protecting us from the Archein if you would just let us fix it.
I am not going to risk your engineer's incompetence by allowing him to attempt a repair. He would destroy it and us in the process.
We are anything but incompetent, you green-blooded...
Stop, please. My head is hurting enough as it is.
Nevin, you can't even think about letting her near the weaponry. It's a classified...
Classified? Next, you'll tell me it's against regulations.
Well, it is. And for all we know, you could be making notes to take back to your Tal Shiar friends. Or maybe even the Archein...
Yes, that's right. I'm selling secrets about this ship to the very enemy that would gladly see me and my home burn. Obviously, Starfleet does not give rank by intelligence.
I'm sorry, do I need to be here for this?
This situation cannot continue as it has. I need resources to repair the cloak, and for that, I need antimatter. Unless you want me to start pulling apart what's left of the warp core, I suggest that we go back to the planet that we detected and let me go and get it.
Absolutely not. If we don't keep moving, we're sitting ducks.
And if we keep moving without finding resources, we are dead anyway. We cannot miss this opportunity.
Rhoda Wozniak. Alter course to the planet we detected earlier. Best speed.
Aye, sir. Sensors confirm what we originally thought. The planet's either unmanned or abandoned. There are no life signs.
There should be no resistance then.
The team will need to beam down there with transport enhancers. Antimatter is simply too dangerous to beam up.
Away, Team Commander?
Have them assembled in Transporter Room 3. Standard orbit, Alex.
Already on it, sir.
I'll be accompanying you. Lieutenant Stoddy, remain here.
Like hell. Wozniak, you take the bridge. Stoddy to Shinar, report to Transporter Room 3.
Aye, sir.
Let's go. We'll have to spread out. Stoddy, you come with me. Talora, Shinar, check out the building across the way. So what was this argument with Talora really about?
I don't trust her, sir.
Because she's Romulan?
No, sir. Because she's a Romulan sub-commander on board a Federation ship. It's probably the Empire's dream.
They have been our allies for several years.
Just permit me to be cautious, sir.
Is there something on your mind, Sub-Commander?
I have an unsettled feeling about being here. Seemingly dead planets make me feel weary.
I know what you mean. It's uneasy walking through a place that once housed millions of people, seeing a society now long gone. It's like walking through an old graveyard.
That is not what I meant.
Oh, what did you mean then?
It has been my experience that a dead civilization has usually left something alive. Sometimes the reason why it is dead to begin with, and almost always something unpleasant.
I see. Now that you mention it, it sort of makes me uneasy, too.
Over here, there's antimatter. Not as much as I would like, but it is something. Remove this anti-locking device.
Are you sure that's a good idea, Sub-Commander?
We don't have a choice. Remove it. Security system has been activated. Shinar said I need assistance.
I don't see what's wrong with my clothes.
They're very nice, but hardly suited for someone of your stature, young one. What you wear and how you present yourself shows position and power to those below.
What position? What power? I'm a servant of the Mahjong.
Show me another servant of the Mahjong who's held in her arms the way you are. Until then, clothes are much more important than you may think.
Thank you, Vito, for everything that you do. I feel as though you do the job of a parent.
I'm sure if your parents were here, they'd be doing this for you.
Did you know them? My parents?
Yes, young one.
How did they die?
Has our Mahjong serum told you nothing?
Just that my father was killed in a Kelvin raid. Nothing of my mother.
Your mother, a very powerful woman among the Archein nobles. But she died the day she heard the death of your father. A broken heart she could not stand. It consumed her until she was no more.
I wish I had known her.
The automated defenses around the planet Kokonis were activated earlier today. Someone attempted to steal some of the antimatter pods we have stored there.
Kelvins?
No, the Romulan ship. If we leave now, we could have them in a few hours.
Take 3 cruisers. The automated defenses should have disabled them. Bring them back in one piece. I wish to make an example of them.
In thy name, Ajahn.
Leave us, Vito.
In their name.
My special one. How is it that I can have so much defiance at the doorstep of our empire? And yet with you I can feel only joy.
I live for your service, Mahjong.
And serve me you do well. Make me feel alive, Caicus.
Spread. Helm, get us out of their weapons range. Odyssey 208 team.
Odyssey, we have a man down. Beam us all to sickbay.
We're out of transporter range at the moment, avoiding satellites trying to shoot us out of the sky.
Ro, Shinar is still alive.
All the more pity he can't help us with these. Help me with these transport enhancers.
We don't have the time. Wozniak, get us out of here.
Just a few more minutes.
Shinar doesn't have that time. We need to leave now.
We'll have a lot more data if we don't get this cloak online.
He's not good. The energy surge that went through him caused a deep rupture throughout his frontal cortex. If our equipment wasn't so damaged, I'd be able to do more, but as it is, I've done all I can.
This is my fault. We should have been more careful.
No. There's no way we could have known what would happen. The security systems, the satellites, they didn't show up on scans. It must have been a booby trap.
I'll let you know if anything changes.
2 more minutes and I would have had the transport enhancers up. As it is, we have lost manpower and resources. Considering he may not survive, we could have taken the time to get the antimatter and have something to show for it. There is no point in wasting resources on those who are lost to us.
I can't believe it. Tell me you didn't just suggest letting the man die.
We cannot afford to be careless with energy and equipment on a labor that has no hope.
You'd be saying that whatever his chances.
I would appreciate you not doing this in my sick bay. I need to concentrate.
Keep me posted, Doctor. It's comforting. Even in another galaxy, there's so many familiar stellar bodies, elements, star types.
It's also further proof that all the galaxies came from
The same place, or event. I'm picking up what looks to be a Class J nebula. If my sensors are right, it has a high concentration of deuterium.
I see it.
We could collect the deuterium, use it to synthesize our own antimatter. It's a dangerous process, but it's better than nothing.
Altering course 30 by 254. But I don't know how you're planning on collecting it.
Why not?
The Bussard collectors are still out, and Gillen's a little overworked down there, so I don't think that we can count on them anytime soon.
I guess we'll have to take a shuttle then. Maya, this is Ro. Can you put together an away team for a shuttle mission to collect heavy deuterium?
Deuterium? Sure, give me a few minutes.
Great. Alex, I'll be in the conference room if you need me.
Aye, sir.
Ro to sick bay. Vaughn, how's Shinar doing?
He'd be doing better if we weren't so beat up, I'm afraid. There isn't much I can do for him. I'll keep trying, but honestly, if I can't get him out of the woods in the next couple of hours...
We'll keep trying. We've lost too many people already.
I know, but I think you should prepare yourself for having to let him go. I can keep him breathing, but I fear the brain damage may be too severe.
What does that mean for his survival?
It means we may have to decide whether living in a non-reactive, almost brain-dead state is survival at all. I'll keep you posted.
I've given Shinar 10 cc of Xenophrin, as she said.
Still no response?
None.
Let's think of something else.
But Mr. Shinar is almost completely brain dead. He has almost 0 chance of recovery.
That's still a better chance than 0, Ensign. If we give up now, we might as well give up on all our patients out here, because there will be more of them. We've seen too many of our crew die already. I don't want to see any more die. So, while there's still a tiny chance, there's still a chance.
I suppose we could try and stimulate each part of the brain individually rather than all at the same time.
That's the spirit. Get to it.
Yes, Doctor.
Shuttle Templar to Odyssey. We're away and into the nebula now. We should be back with full collectors in 15 minutes.
Good, we'll see you soon.
As soon as we enter the nebula, we won't be able to communicate, so expect a blackout in our communication.
We've lost communication with the shuttle.
Can we keep a sensor lock on them?
We should be able to track their progress from here, even if we can't hear them. Personally, I'm quite happy for the moment of peace.
It would be nice if the two of you could work together.
Perhaps if Miss Stoddy insists on any more suicide missions like this one, I won't have to.
Commander, on screen.
The shuttle!
Scanning. Looks like their port nacelle ruptured.
We have to move in to get them out of there.
The explosion has set off a chain reaction inside the nebula. We can't get close enough without risking the ship.
We have to try. Wozniak?
Already on the move, sir. I can take us into tractor range, but it'll take us to the outer edge of the nebula.
I must inform you, Lieutenant Commander, that I am opposed to this course of action.
That's fine, Talora. Engineering, we're gonna need a tractor beam.
I have no idea if it will work or not. Just because the computer says it's working now doesn't mean it will when we need it to.
We're entering the nebula now. Be there in 10 seconds.
I'm initiating tractor beam.
Tractor beam has lost power.
I'm rerouting power, and now.
Got them, sir. Pulling them into the shuttle bay. Setting a course out of the nebula.
We were lucky.
Sickbay to bridge. What just happened?
There was an accident on the shuttle. They're probably wounded.
Why am I not surprised? Are we trying to get our entire crew killed? I'm on my way to the shuttle bay.
As you requested, I have completed a scan on the recovered shuttle. It seems that the buildup of energy from the Bussard collectors triggered an already active region of the nebula, starting a cascade plasma storm. Next time, Miss Stotty will have to be more careful in her haste. What are you doing?
I'm reviewing Shinnar's file. Did you know that he was a Parisi Squares champion?
I do not even know his first name.
Neither did I. I had to look it up.
It can hardly be expected that you know everyone on the ship on a first-name basis. You are only the science officer. I'm returning to work. If we want to survive, we need the cloak operational.
And for that, we need antimatter.
I've made some suggestions that might be some use. Review the pad.
Is Stotty right, Commander? Are you cold about the lives of all people, or just Federation lives?
Just because our blood is green, Commander, it does not mean that we are without feeling. I am not cold towards life, I am simply pragmatic. Serving the Romulan Empire, I have lost people under my authority, so I am not without understanding. But if I allow every loss to distract me or unsettle me, I would have lost many more. Knowing when I can save my officers, more importantly, knowing when I cannot, has saved others in the process.
I haven't had that responsibility before. To be able to look at the big picture. To write off one thing so others can survive.
You must. It is your duty and responsibility now. As much as it pains me to say it, you are the captain despite your rank. Learn to move on and to accept loss. Otherwise, risk killing us all in your hesitance.
Laura, I understand what you've said, I do. But maybe I can take a look at the big picture without being so quick to write off what isn't easy or safe. We would have lost Stotty and the team back there if we hadn't taken a risk. But we took a chance and it worked. I mean, isn't that the better choice? To take a risk?
Perhaps you too should take the risk. We know there's antimatter back there, and without it, we might as well be dead. Take us back and allow us to retrieve the stores that we need.
A raid. On what is probably an Archein stronghold, that's foolish.
It's a risk. And may I remind you, Ro Nevin, that without antimatter, we are without a cloak and without a warp core. Without a warp core, we have no power. And without power, we are dead. No replicators, no sensors, and eventually, no life support. Take the risk. Isn't that what a captain is supposed to do? Engineering. Halt. Sick bay.
Sub-Commander Laura, you aren't often down in these parts. Is your ocular implant giving you trouble again?
Yes. It seems that I'm more prone to headaches from being on this ship.
I have something that should make you feel better.
How is Shinnar?
He's not good, I'm afraid. I've done all I can for the moment. We should know either way soon. However, I'm not holding out hope. That was quite a heated conversation you and Stotty were having.
She is a rather aggravating person to work with.
She's stubborn. I imagine she's having a difficult time at the moment. Being lost in another galaxy. It must give her deja vu.
She's been lost in Andromeda before.
No, she hasn't. Her sister was on the Voyager mission. She was killed quite soon after they were lost. She probably thinks her name is cursed.
Perhaps she is.
I didn't think the Romulan Star Empire to be much for superstition.
We have a saying. If the talons fit, the claw must be responsible.
Logical. You play chess, Sub-Commander?
Occasionally.
Great. I've been looking for a challenge. Perhaps if you have a free moment?
Perhaps another time. Dr. Vaughn, you said you were stationed on Federation Starbase 395.
Yes, that's how I knew about your ocular implant.
Is that also the reason why you are attempting to accept me as a shipmate? Romulans do not easily garner trust and acceptance from humans.
I got to know some Romulans during my work there. I suppose that having had that experience may make me more comfortable around you than my other Starfleet colleagues.
I see. I must return to work.
Joe Landrew, Sub-Commander.
Danger. No, what's that alarm now?
Of engine containment field. Antimatter containment positive. Warp drive within normal parameters.
Captain. Thank you.
Don't worry, Josh. I'm just making the rounds.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I'm lost down here. Every time I try to fix something, something else breaks. I repair one EPS conduit and start a cascade failure of the whole main grid.
Don't try to fix everything all at once. A good engineer knows that things will fail. Prioritize.
The chief would have known what to do in an instant.
If we're going to make it through this, we all need to pull together, dig deep, find our strengths, rise above our limitations. You can do this.
I know. But you need the ship ready now.
Not at the expense of my chief engineer. These are your people. Take a step back and look at the big picture. You have the skills.
All I've ever wanted to do is experimental engineering. Building new technologies. I even dreamt about being a part of the Midas project. My family didn't understand that. My father was a big Starfleet man. Go out and see the stars, not just draw them. I'd be content sitting at home at Thunder Bay and going fishing on the weekends, skipping stones across the lake.
That does sound nice right about now.
My father's the one who wanted me to be in the fleet. And after a while, I guess I came around to the idea. Now look where I am.
You know, someone once said that a ship is only as good as the engineer who takes care of her. You can do this. Be the engineer that I know you can be. You'll get home, Josh. We'll all get home.
I guess I shouldn't complain. You've become captain now. I'm not sure I can take on the responsibility for the whole ship. Engineering's bad enough.
We are approaching Kokonis. It won't be long before we're engaged in battle, General.
And you knew with whom we'll be engaged?
The alien vessel from the Romulan galaxy.
And what of the ship itself? What are her specifications? Her weaponry? What is her name, young one?
I do not know, sir.
To defeat our enemy, you must get to know them. Keep them as close as possible. Get to know their secrets, their desires, their needs. They've attempted to steal a power source we've left dormant since our Great War. This tells me they're low on supplies. If their ships are like ours, they will be dependent on antimatter. They'll be weak. But they will do everything possible to survive, as the self-destruction of their engine core has already demonstrated.
You've learned all this?
From observation. And in the remote chance that we don't defeat them today, we'll at least have learned more about them.
Of course, General. There's also a message sent from Majan Saram. She wishes for you to update her on your status.
Yes, she is of course clever and wise. I shall attend to it immediately.
In their name.
Clever and wise.
Shouldn't you be in sickbay, Lieutenant?
Vaughn released me when I wouldn't cooperate. I'm reporting for duty, sir.
Good. We are returning to the mining planet. They have stores of processed antimatter. We need those stores.
No way. We'll get blown out of the sky as soon as we get close.
I have a plan.
This is her idea, isn't it? Sir, it's insane.
Do you have any other ideas, Lieutenant?
No, sir. I know I don't want to die on that rock, though.
Like I said, I have a plan. Gillen, report to Astrometrics. I'll meet you there. Maya, Talora, come with me, please.
Maybe it's not too late to be confined to sick bay.
Okay. We know the planet has antimatter stores we can use to refuel the warp core. We can't beam it up from orbit, and we can't get the shuttles past the satellites, so our original plan is still sound. We beam down with our pattern enhancers, collect as much as we can, and beam up.
Like I said, blown out of the sky.
Sir, she's right. I don't see how we can get close enough to the surface to beam down an away team without being blown up.
That'll be where you and Talora come in. We drop out of warp as close as we can to the planet, which means we'll need to complete a near warp beam in before we jump to warp again. Alex will take care of the warp jump and the transport. As soon as you beam down, find a console, and Ensign Gillen, you'll need to access the satellite controls and send us their command codes so that we can deactivate them from here once we warp out. You will only have a few minutes, so once you've collected as many pods as you can, signal us to return. We will warp back in, beam the team and the pods back to the ship, and deactivate the satellites from here. Let's do it.
Go into Odyssey. I have the command code for the satellite. Transmitting to you now.
We have them. Talora, start transmitting as soon as we get back into range. Alex, get us back to that planet.
Commander, we have a problem. Archein ship's bearing down on us. They must have known we were here. Shields hit!
Evasive action, Helm.
We're not gonna be able to get close enough to the planet to beam up our team and the supplies, even if we take out the satellite.
Then perhaps we should leave the satellites operational.
So we can die in half the time?
Your sarcasm is most unpleasant, Lieutenant. The boy is down there on the planet with access to the satellite's programming. He may not be able to deactivate it from there, but he can change the target.
So the satellites target the Archein ships.
Now that sounds more like it.
Odyssey to Gillen, do you think you can get to the satellite control system and reprogram them to target the Archein ships firing at us?
If I had an instruction manual and a programming team, then maybe.
Sorry, Ensign. You only have a few minutes.
No pressure then.
Maya, continue firing. We need to bide some time. Alex, keep them weaving around us.
They're firing the weapons at us, but they're in no danger of penetrating our hull.
They know this, and yet they still remain. Why don't they flee?
They haven't got what they came for.
Perhaps. And perhaps they know something we don't. Be wary. This fight may not be as easy as we first thought.
Odyssey to Gillen, how's it coming?
I think I have it. And I'm changing the targeting procedures now. I can't guarantee it'll work, but you'll know in about 30 seconds.
No change yet. Our shields are at 40%.
Wait, the satellites have stopped firing.
Confirmed. The satellites have stopped and are changing direction towards the Archein ships.
They are charging weapons and about to fire on the Archeins.
You did it, Gillen. Wozniak, take us in. We're going to need to initiate transport and go straight to warp.
Aye, sir. Changing course.
The alien vessel is leaving the system. General, I don't know how this happened.
They were desperate. They used everything they had. And it worked.
You sound almost admiring, General.
And I am. One ship should have been an easy enough target. But we've learned two things from this encounter.
Yes, General?
We've learned that they're extremely resourceful, and I was wrong to underestimate them. I shall not make that mistake again.
Majan Serum will not be pleased.
I shall prepare the report myself.
Yes, General. And what was the second thing we learned?
The ship's name, young one. It is the Odyssey.
Mr. Serum, I beg you not to be...
Okay, Gus. My special one. They have made fools of us, of Archeina. No more. We will have their remains spread across our space as a warning to all who would oppose us. They will beg for mercy before I am through with them.
I need the pods for the cloaking device.
There are other things that are far more important than your cloaking device.
Is far more...
Is everything all right, sir?
I haven't stepped foot in this room since Tilek was sitting in that chair. He's not here now.
No, sir, he isn't.
It's technically my chair. I don't want it, yet it's meant for me to sit there.
Then why don't you sit in it?
Von Thoreau, please report to sickbay.
On my way. Look, I'm gonna need the two of you to work together as best you can. I'm gonna need to rely on both of you. I can't do that if you're constantly fighting.
Understood, sir. I'll try my best.
You asked to see me, Doctor.
I've done all I can for Shinar. But at this point, sir, I can barely keep him breathing. If we had a fully functioning sickbay, there may be a chance, but out here.
Shinar was assigned to Odyssey at Bix's request from Deep Space 11. Shinar saved his life in a Thullian attack a few years back. Bix had been watching him ever since. Could have made commander in a few years easily. Is this gonna happen a lot? Us losing good people because we're stuck?
I wish I could promise I'll be able to save everyone. I'll certainly do the best I can, I can promise you that much.
I'm sorry, crewman. Thank you, Doctor. I suppose you could organize the funeral arrangements.
I'll take care of it, Commander.
Captain on the bridge.
Status of the cloak.
The cloak is operational again.
That quickly. Good work, Sub-Commander.
It might be worth pointing out that the work was sped up thanks to Ensign Gillen and his team.
Their assistance was not unwelcomed, considering we had to get the cloak operational as quickly as possible.
It's good to hear. Wozniak, set a course for the nearest habitable system.
Aye, sir.
Captain's log, stardate 61273.8. This is my first entry as acting captain. The cloak is working again, for now. We have to remember that our resources are finite, and that while we have enough for now, we can't sustain our power levels indefinitely. I also need to record the death of Lieutenant Junior Grade Shinar Teles, who died during the attempt to recover our supplies. I have to hope that this will get easier, but right now I can't see how it can.